collaborative way. I mean,
Okay. But from tomorrow, the actual content starts, right?
yeah, the actual session starts.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So Ranjana Singh and Sivasankar. The complete content, you can see it in the website itself. PLR training.com, not .in. Click on this, Generative AI, and the course content. Here it is. This part, from here onwards, it is Generative AI. And up to here, deep learning. So please mute yourself unless you have questions. So from Python, which is the programming language that we use, it is not just Python. There are other languages that supports AI, JavaScript, Java, C++. But from application perspective, we use Python. And NumPy Pandas is for data analysis. And when it comes to the nodes, let me show you the. There's going to be in this form. Like I will provide you zip files. Let me. These are ongoing projects, my ongoing batches. So here, let's take this one. This is how we provide the files, right? So don't worry about notes. Most of it will provide in the form of Jupyter notebooks or text files or any associated data files or even PDFs, something like this. The many.
Even we also get the recording sessions, right?
The recording sessions will be shared by the institute.
Yes.
The content, I will share it from my end.
Okay, no problem.
You will have access. You will get access to another Google Classroom for video access. For content, I'm going to share it from my end, and all the most of it is going to be like I'll provide the notes in a more step-by-step manner, so you can see that.
Because if there is a notes, then instead of taking running notes, we can concentrate on listening, and then we can come back. Yep.
Yeah, you can put more effort on practicing it, but it's always better to prepare your own notes, even though I'll provide all the Jupyter notebooks and other files, but it's always better to have your own notes for quick reference, especially for interviews. I'll provide even interview questions, so don't worry about interview questions or even books if you want to further read on AI or generative AI. So even if you look at this one, I have provided even books also.
Can we download the things, the material and recordings? Can we download?
Yeah. Recordings, I have no idea, so you need to contact them. But when it comes to content, yes, of course, you can see that you can right click on this, open new tab, and you will get this download option.
Okay.
So it roughly takes around 300 to 500 gigs of space. So you need to have that much amount of space in your system.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It is better to have a GPU in your machine, but when it comes to the basic part, you don't really require GPUs like NumPy. It's a NumPy, Pandas. When it comes to Matplotlib and Seaborn, it's visualization. Let me show you how the files are going to be. This is going to be in IPYNB format, Jupyter Notebook. There are two IDEs we use. One is Jupyter Notebook. Sorry, this one, the one that I'm going to show you now.
Sir, what you said, like you should have a GPU in your machine, means you're talking about the hardware configuration of the laptop?
Yeah. So for basic stuff, you don't really require GPU. For
Okay.
advanced stuff like generative AI, especially whether it is for inference or for training, I mean to say fine tuning and other stuff, you require GPU, but I will provide you an alternate source, but something
Okay.
that you
So
have
for
to pay
this
on your
training,
own.
we don't need that high configuration.
Well,
I mean,
you need it, but for advanced stuff, I will provide an alternate source, something that you have to pay on your own from your credit card.
okay, okay. Like on the
Yeah,
clouds and yeah. Okay,
right.
okay,
Like Run Pod or Thunder Compute or even Azure AWS, you have alternate ways to access models.
okay,
But I'll provide you that. And there are a few free, like, let me show you the Grok, free alternatives also. But there are a lot of limitations to Grok. But I'll try to provide as many alternates as possible.
okay,
But
sir.
if I say that you have to pay on your own, that means that it's better to try it at least once so that you will be production ready.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
right now. So, Damodar, so instead of paying, so we get laptops with the GPU configuration? Uh, do we need to
Uh,
buy such things?
so
I'm not
laptop,
aware of GPU. So GPU is kind of
uh,
a hardware thing, right?
right? GPU is a kind of, we have CPUs, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to CPUs, okay, let me show you in my own machine itself.
Yeah.
So here we have, here I have CPU, which is i9 processor and it has around 24 cores. Whereas
Okay.
GPU is totally different. Of course, it is still for processing, but it is for single task. Whereas CPU is for multitask. Suppose I have opened Teams, I have opened browser, I have opened task manager, I have opened a command prompt, right? A terminal, and I open even another browser too. So how can I able to do that? With the help of CPU, because it's a multitask thing. Whereas for heavy process and that too, we can't use CPU. Please mute yourself unless you have question. There's noise from somewhere end. So GPU is for single task, but the number of cores that we get is like, it's going to be huge. For example, let's take 4070 Ti, NVIDIA 4070 Ti cores. How many cores we have? 7680. Whereas CPU is just has 24. CPU by nature, it is a multitask kind of processing stuff, whereas GPU is for single task, and you're going to get many cores. Either you can use it for gaming or for AI related stuff. There are even bigger, GPUs like A100, or let me show you this. Here you have A100, 40 GB, right? Even 80 GB, this thing, so GPUs. So some cases, we need to use these 80 or even 160 GB GPUs. In that case, we can't use a local machine. And I don't advise a laptop to buy. It's always better to buy a desktop for AI related stuff. The reason for that is, compared to desktop, the performance will be 40% less in laptops. And it's going to be more expensive than desktops. So for AI, it's always better to buy a desktop. The one that you see here, it's actually a desktop, Lenovo machine. It costed me around 2.5 lakh. And it is 12 GB GPU. So I can run a decent models in this. Let me show you that. Here, let me plug in a model. I think last time I showed you, right? Generate Fibonacci program in Python. It is still loading. So once it gets loaded, you can see some spike over here. So you can see there's some 6.7, right? It is loading in GPU and it starts responding. If it is CPU, it's going to take at least 15 to 20 minutes. More, again, it depends on the kind of CPU you have. I hope you got, it's clear now, right? CPU is for multitask, but the number of cores are very less for general tasks, whereas GPU is for gaming or AI, especially the GPU is for single task, not for multitasking. And it will have usually, at least 3 to 4,000 cores, CUDA cores. Is that clear? Who asked this question related to GPU and CPUs?
Yeah, it's me. It's me, Dhamodhar. Understood. So
Yeah, this is how a GPU looks like. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it's better to buy a desktop which has like generally in olden days we have a monitor and a CPU, right? So in the
Right.
same way, now we need to have a monitor with a GPU connected.
Right. So it's even, I mean, the one that I have is basically a consumer GPU. It's not, we don't use it for production kind of, but this is good, good enough to, to test basic models, like up to 10 or even 11 GB. The one that I bought is this one, Lenovo Legion 5 Pro. I don't know, this one. Yeah, it looks like this one. This is 7, but I bought 5.
Oh,
This one has more, I mean, this has more GPU now, 16 GB, and the latest one, 5070 Ti.
understood. So we need to connect these two desk monitor, right?
Obviously, it's a desktop.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So another ID that is the one that you can see here is basically a Jupyter notebook. Where is, yeah, this is Jupyter notebook. The other ID that we use is Visual Code. We can open it, even in Visual Code also. Let me show you. Where is it? The same stuff. You can open it in Visual Code also. But we always prefer Jupyter Notebook over Visual Code for basic stuff, whereas for projects we prefer Visual Code. Okay. What do we get out of this is basically like this. There are a lot of projects, around 10 to 15 projects at least. If we go to this project section, there are 10 to 15 projects here. And you have LM Studio. I mean, the other tools that you can deploy, use it in your own machine, we will explain that too. So like LM Studio, GPT for all, right? There's another one, MSGI. These tools are basically desktop apps to test the models, not for production. For production, we will have a different set of scripts altogether. Let me show you this one. Code. So these are there's a few files. Around 5 to 6 parts, we have it in this one itself. So this is how it's going to be. So we don't try to build applications, but instead we go for APIs. We'll try to build APIs. This whole sort of 6 to 7 projects we have it here, right? All are like we'll try to build APIs around it. can see the Dockerization, app.py for class for single input and batch input. There are basically two kinds of inputs we get. One we call it as online, which is nothing but single row kind of inputs. But as for batch, we provide as a file. We'll have multiple inputs and it's going to give us multiple outputs, right? So this is how it's going to be. And we wrap it in Docker file and containerize it and run the commands. So someone asked the nodes, right? So I'll provide the detailed nodes, like including the commands. What are the commands that you have to execute to build the image and run the container and then test it. So if you look at this is for testing. So you run the container and then you can test it using this one. So not to bother about preparing your own scripts, at least in most of the cases. And when it comes to graphical user interface, we have projects too on that, but let me show you this. So we have no module name chainlet. Okay. Already been there. So okay. Okay. Chainlet. I'll do one thing. I'll remove the virtual environment. Looks like some bug. If you look at these projects, the detailed notes you can see with all the screenshots I provide you. So this is how the interface is going to be once it is done.
So, Damodar, by the time it turns up, I have a small question. It's a generic question.
Yeah.
Like now, ChatGPT, Copilot, these are all LLMs, right?
Okay. Not
So,
LLMs.
okay.
ChatGPT, Copilot are interfaces, user interfaces, graphical user interface. It could be web or desktop.
Okay.
We can plug in the model.
Okay. For those front ends, like the ChatGPT is a front end, and the commands will go and hit the model which is lying in the back end.
Right. So let's say that you can plug in the model, right? Meta Llama.
Okay.
We can plug other models too, if we have any.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah.
okay. So, okay, now understood. So this is the front end, and whatever the model that we attach into the back end, we can ask the questions to that model. I mean, ask
Right.
questions to them. So, if through this course, are we going to build those models like the Meta LLM which is attached? Is that the one which you created and you attached it, or I mean,
Yeah,
what we are going to achieve?
We will build the models from scratch, but the models that we build are not up to enough. I mean to say, the models we can't deploy it in production.
Yes.
Because the model building cost itself is very expensive. It will cost millions of dollars. So what do we do here is we will make use of the existing open source models from Hugging Face or from Olama.
Okay.
But this will again does not fit to our own data. So let's say that you're working in an organization. You have some financial data which is private. So that is not going to fit well into this. Again, so how do you fine tune it, or how do we build RAG applications on top of it? that is exactly what we do it in this course. So more kind of real time rather than building a model that is not going to be of any help. But in order to understand the process, right, how these guys would build these models, you will see from scratch. If we look at this file, where is it? Here it is. LLM internals. So I'll explain, like, let's take test data, right? And then convert into bits and then bytes and then to convert to tokens, and how these tokens been used to build the models from scratch. So all the complete process, we're going to see it in detail. So not just using these models, right? So you will be, you will understand the concepts in depth. At the same time, you will be production ready by the end of this course. You'll gain 2 years of real-time experience by the end of the course.
Understood. So we will use existing models, and as well as we will try to build a new model from scratch.
Right. But the new models that we build are not going
Is
to
local.
be, I mean, it's not even local. So you'll understand the process behind it under the hood. But we can't use those models in production. That is what I mean.
Understood.
Because those are like building the model by itself will cost millions and billions of dollars. So that's the reason.
So in real time, generally company will invest in building their own models.
No, not really, unless some big organizations like Meta, Google, they build the models, like Anthropic. They build the models. They can afford that much cost. Whereas for other organizations, small organizations, or like let's take a small, I don't know, it's not even depends on like the kind of organization that you work. It depends on the client, the kind of project that you work. So how much budget that the client can afford. So if you can't afford a model, which costs millions and billions, it's always better to go with open source models, right?
Understood. I mean, what exactly I am trying to know here is like after learning this course, like what kind of jobs I can land into, like what kind of work that I'm going to do in future.
Generative AI engineer. So the generative AI engineer is someone who knows in depth about generative AI and how to deploy generative AI apps or APIs in real time. Or let's take, understanding the requirement right from understanding the requirement phase. So it's not like most of the clients, they're not technical enough, right? So you will understand the requirement and then you try to, build solutions around it. That's exactly what we do in, let's take a web development team, right? They may not know how to make use of LLMs, or they may not know which model need to be used. Or they may have some their own data, something that does not fit in any open source models. So you're going to provide an end-to-end solution.
Yeah. So it's kind of a generative engineer. That's the term that we are going to land on after completing this course.
Generative engineering is the role that
Generative
you're going to
AI
play.
engineer. Okay,
Or in simple words, AI. Again, depends on job description. So if it's related to
So
generative AI,
what organizations are requiring for these kind of roles? Like, if as I understand, this is the new kind of role in the market. So, like I have some past experience, and if I apply for some organization, so I'm not able to connect my this knowledge with my past experience.
Right.
How will I portray myself to the organization, like if wherever I'm applying?
Okay.
Yeah, so
First
what
of all,
kind
AI is not a new thing. So it's been there from the past 5 to 6 decades.
but I have
Generative
no
AI is,
experience in AI.
I
I'm
do
like,
agree.
yes.
I do agree. So by the end of this course, you will get 2 years real-time experience. So when I say 2 years real-time experience, I will provide end-to-end projects, something that you can use it in your production for various use cases. So let's take the test classification, summarization, sentence, but you might have not even heard about this, right? You know a generative AI, you know ChatGPT, nothing else, right? But there are various categories under generative AI itself. And it's a new field, so 2 years is a good amount of experience that you can crack through. Okay. And when it comes to past experience, things are moving now. Things are moving from technical to non-technical, but generative AI by nature is a technical stuff still. I think I explained in the last demo.
Okay.
So in the demo, I explained that things are
I
moving from
can, I
here.
mean, after doing this course, I can I can write some projects in my resume. Like I have self did my these projects, and that is going to give me the weightage when I'm applying for some generative AI engineering job. Is it
Of course, as I said, like 10 to 15 projects, those are more kind of real-time projects.
which we
You
are
can,
going to do in this course?
right. When it comes to, apart from projects, there are a lot of concepts. Let me show you in the Google Classroom itself. So if you look at this one, when I mention project, it means the project. So the remaining and all is concepts. Let's take mixture of experts. It is a concept, right? So we have, like when I say mention project, it is project. Let's take tools. It's not just projects. We use various tools like Bold DIY for web development, right? Ada, if it is completely terminal based. In some case, you are not going to get GUI, graphical user interface. It's going to be Linux based or complete terminal based in order to reduce surface area for any hacking kind of stuff, right? So for various tools that we use, like even LM Studio, Bold DIY, these are all, kind of user interfaces that you will get it for free and use it right to test the models and transform architecture. When it comes, it's like, there are too many concepts in generative AI, something that we will discuss in detail, not just the concepts, the tools that we use in various use cases to test the models, not just tools. We will see end-to-end projects also.
So, sir, from when we will start actually studying the generative AI? Because as per the syllabus, is start in the beginning we are learning Python, then we are
Right,
touching some machine learning concepts like NumPy and Pandas and all, and after
right,
that, so uh, how much time? I mean, how many days or from the
mm,
second month, or because it's a 3 months course, so
right,
and which shows like we have a huge content to study and learn. So from
right.
when we will start this generative AI part?
So from Python to deep learning, it will take
Yes.
around 1.5 month.
Okay.
And from then it's going to be, you're going to spend 1 to 1.5 month on generative AI.
So this
That
much of
includes
time.
data engineering. That includes data engineering. Basically, it is not data engineering course, but you will have a bunch of projects on data engineering also for, to in order to deal with ad hoc activities, tasks. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
So I mean, I can see there are lots of things to learn here. There are so much material here, but I mean, time is like small. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
will it be okay? I mean, for me, like I have no
Hmm.
AI experience in the past and like not a coding experience too. So will I able to cover this all in the 1.5 months or maybe two
It's not
months
one
as
and a
well?
half month, three
Yeah,
months, as I said, 1.5 month for basics,
yeah,
another 1.5 month for generative
for
AI,
AI
and
project.
it will take around another 3 months to practice.
For- Okay.
So it's totally planned for next 6 months.
Yes, sir. That is that 6 months would be my learning. But what I want to know, like on the Saturday we learn something, and on Sunday we
Right.
learn something. So obviously I'm not able to practice it in between. I will practice. I will start practicing that content from Monday to like Friday, Friday today. Where I am, it's a Friday night.
Weekdays, right?
So
Okay.
yeah. So from Monday to Thursday, I will have time to practice it. So
All
will I
right.
able to cover all that in the 3 months? Um,
No, I still not getting your points. The point is that the course, you can see the content, right? So I will deliver it in 3.5 months. And when it comes to practice, is going to be enough or not, it completely depends on you. But if you have any questions, or if you get any bugs, or if you have any, if you feel that there's something that's not been covered in this course, you can always communicate to me. That's not a big deal. But
yes,
you
yes,
have to practice that. That's what
yes.
it is. Like you'll get good 5 days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For 6 or 8 hours session that we are going to have it on weekends.
Yes.
So I think it's good enough
Okay.
as long as you spend at least 2 to 3 hours every day.
Okay. Sir. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions? But if you keep on fearing about it, like there is a lot of content, so you can't move ahead, right? I mean to say, the generative AI is must. It's not an option anymore. So a lot of people are losing jobs. I think you heard this last day news on Microsoft. 6,000 people lost the job because of AI. So things are moving now.
Yes, there are lots of layoffs. Yes,
Yeah,
I.
so it used to be more technical. Now it is more moving towards natural language. So we can communicate with machines in a natural language manner. Something that is happening right now. And another 4 to 5 years, things will completely change from what is right now. You may not see the kind of tools that we are using now in another 4 or 5 years. Totally different kind of tools you will see. We have to learn accordingly. So there is no other option. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, Damodar.
So when it comes to notes, don't worry about it, but it's always advised to prepare your own notes or practice on your own. Of course, the notes that I provide, Jupyter notebooks or any files. Let me show you another one. Um, how in some case, it's not just Jupyter notebook. It is going to be even something like this, right? A simple text file with explanation related to that particular concept. Just a correlation, right? A covariance. It's going to be even in this manner too. So in some case, you will provide Excel files, images, or even PDFs with step-by-step guide. So don't worry about notes, but you have to prepare on your own. That kind of tendency you have to have. And interview questions, I will provide it. So don't worry about interview questions too. And don't worry about how well I'm going to implement, you're going to implement it in real time. So don't worry about that because I will provide production grade scripts, something that you don't get it online too. So this is completely end to end, or we have several other products, not just these ones. So don't worry about production ready, whether you can able to implement it or not in production in real world projects. You can definitely do that, but you need to spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day,
Yeah,
right? So
understood.
just to practice.
But
So
only thing is concern is like is this syllabus and course is for like core developers who works on our core Linux admins or DevOps engineers who are very
okay,
good at the command line prompts,
right.
querying, writing commands in Linux or something like that for them.
Okay, there are two things. One, the coding part, the programming part, we use Python. The other one is scripting, Bash scripting. You are speaking about Bash scripting
Yes,
in
yes.
Linux and all. So do we need to know it? Yes, of course we need to know, being a generative AI engineer, because generative AI, and in fact AI in general, it's basically a combination of various fields, combination of various subjects. So
Yeah.
that are you going to build from scratch? Obviously not.
Yes.
One,
But
you should
one
not
thing is
avoid coding.
okay.
Yeah, my point is you should not avoid coding. And
Okay.
another good that is, I mean, if you're scared of writing code, like obviously this is not the course that you have to prefer. And the other one is this is the right time to start learning coding because LM
Yeah,
tools that
understood.
yeah, it will prepare, it will provide you the complete code.
Understood. So
Basically, thing
I
is
will
you need to be
learn.
in a position to understand it and implement it. That's all. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Damodar. So you are right. So we need to learn for sure because the development is everywhere. So that's fine. But my question is, like, will the people who are recruiting, for example, I
Hmm.
applied without any core background, but I have 2 years of this experience. But with
Okay.
same 2 years, a developer also applied, who is a developer from so many years. So
Right.
generally, this knowledge I am very good, but I don't have previous knowledge. But one guy came with this knowledge. With in addition to that, he have a development experience as well.
Right.
So
Right.
then the recruiter will they will prefer that guy only, right? Compared to me.
The thing is that most of they don't use Python for web development.
Okay.
Thing
They
is
come
that
from Java and .NET
in
basically.
Java or .NET,
Yes.
right? So some they start using Go and other languages. They
Hmm.
don't use Python. That is one thing. The second thing is, so in Python, in AI or in generative AI, we completely use Python.
Yes.
So even they are also new to Python,
Okay.
right? The third one is you not to be an expert in coding because
Mm-hmm.
LM tools will generate the code. You
Yes.
need to know the basics and you have to be good at least 10 to 15 projects for various that cause various use cases. If you are good at that, then you can easily extend yourself, like enhance yourself to other projects. That is not a big deal as long
Okay.
as
Yeah.
you spend good amount of time in practicing it.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing is like if the expectations are very huge, like they need very high end like developers who works in Google, Meta and all, then
Right,
DSAs, algorithms,
right.
then I think bit challenging. But if it is a normal core thing, we can manage.
Exactly. So research, there are two things. One is research, where they build models from scratch. They use C, C++ for that. Even in some case, Java. They
Okay.
don't use Python. When it comes to implementation, so taking the model and implementing it in real world projects, that is totally different. That will come on the application side.
Okay.
Okay. The two things, research and application is totally different. So you
Mhm.
will come under application side. So you're applying the models to the real world problems, not building things from scratch.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sounds good for me. Thank you, Damodar.
But and as I told you, it's just not just because of we are providing the course on generative AI. It's generative AI is not an option anymore. So you have to learn it. AI is must. Even though there are too many topics or too many subjects being clubbed all together into one, you have to learn it. So we have mathematics, but if you go in a sequential manner, that's not going to be difficult at all. Right? If you start from scratch, right? If you go in a sequential manner, if you then things are not going to be difficult. In just another 5 to 6 months, you will definitely be good at generative AI. But if you keep hopping from one to another, then things are going to be difficult. Let's take if you go to YouTube, you watch one video, another video, and somewhere some other point of time, then obviously you will feel too difficult to get through it, right?
Yes, Damodar. So, if it is a structural way, progressively we can learn anything. The only thing is we
Exactly.
need to maintain focus throughout the course
Right.
and
It has to be constructive and it has to be in a sequential manner.
yeah, yeah. But the way you teach will in sync with that, right? The way you teach is like it's like progressive.
Definitely, but don't worry about the code that we provide. So obviously there will be too much code. Don't worry about it. If you keep on working on it, so you will become good at it. So I'll try to provide documentation as much as possible. Try to explain in detail. Try to focus on the output. Initially, you need to focus on how to we execute the project, and then you can get through the intricacies of it. I think I'll stop.
Agree. Yeah.
1 second. Let me show you this project. I think we are almost done with this. UV run stream. I think change it, right? Is this okay? The mistake that I did is UI. I think it is delaying because we are loaded another model, right? Now it's free. Okay, now the project is up and running. Okay, so we can provide any project, any image we want. This project is basically to analyze the image. Let me drop it here. Explain me this image. There's more technical stuff. Error problem, the Llama 3.2 vision is no longer compatible with your version of Olama and has been replaced with a newer version. Try to reload. Okay. Let me check this model. It is saying that it is not compatible anymore. They have removed it. Olama. All right. So here we have 90 billion, 11 billion. Okay. So we go with this one. Terminal 4. We have all these models already available, but this saying that it is not compatible anymore. Okay, so full. It takes 5 to 6 minutes, but please be on hold. I'll provide you an uh, overview of like how the products are going to be. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.
Please ask all our queries.
I didn't get your point. Who's that?
Venkat, VLR.
Sir. $11B. All right. In some case, the client may not have enough infrastructure, right? They like to go obviously for cloud infra. In some case, they don't like to allocate VMs and all. So in that case, we have alternate solutions too. I mean, for that, like Azure Foundry or AWS Bedrock or Google Vertex AI, wherein you can access the models as an API and you can use it in your production. I mean, say production apps. So even cloud part is is part of this course. Where is it? Yeah. You can see AWS Bedrock, Azure Foundry, Vertex. Vertex is basically from Google, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Azure, AWS Bedrock. And we have projects, deploying it in VMs too. So both IaaS and PaaS, we have projects on. This whole thing is basically, we're going to deploy it in VMs, right? Whereas this one is a rack architecture. So it's one of the most efficient ways to build AI solutions, generative AI solutions. And you might have heard agentic AI, right? Now there are two things you hear it most, like agentic AI, agents, and other one is MCP or A2A, Model Context Protocol. So even those two things are going to be part of this course.
And Dhamodhar, coming back to the list of tools and IDs or softwares or whatever we use. So do we need to get all them ready by the day before day one?
No, I'll provide you the demo right in the session, and then you need to try it in your machine. Have any difficulty, you can let me know. Let's take that if I try 11B model and you don't have GPU, right? There will be alternate models. Let me show you right here. So you can see 1B model, 1 billion, something that you can run it in CPU too. So you can see 0.6B model. So try to find an alternate model, something you can use CPU and run it. Even though the output may not be as effective as a bigger model does, right? But we can easily switch the model, right? The complete the process flow is going to be the same, whether it is small or big.
Understood. My question is like before day one, like for example, during the class, if you start open and saying something, if that is not available with me, so installation of those softwares, we will do it in the class or we need to get it done before the class?
Not before the class. So I'll provide the demo and then you try it on your own. If you get any bugs or if you have any issues, something that you can't try it in your machine, you can let me know through WhatsApp group.
So
There'll be a WhatsApp community.
Okay. So initially you will show, okay, this is, for example, this is the way to register or this is the way to download and this is the way to install. You will tell them in the class, and after the class, we need to reproduce the same by watching the recording session.
We will have sessions on weekends. It's always better to utilize weekends. If not, you have to practice. You will get good 5 days, right? Time to practice things.
Yeah. Yes.
But you can always reach me out. So if you have any issues, whether it's weekend or weekdays.
No problem. Yeah. But anyway, if recording sessions are there, we can pause the video or we can go back the video, see once again. So
exactly.
Recordings are very helpful if they're available after the class.
They will definitely provide you that, but something that I don't do it from mine. So Venkat sir will provide you access to that.
No problem.
There'll be another Google Classroom for it.
Okay, yeah, that works.
I will share, sir, only the access, okay?
Just read access is fine. But even if we get any list of softwares also, that would be great. We will try on our end. Like on beforehand, if we know that these are all the different tools and technologies we are going to use, if we get any list of such a thing
again
beforehand, at least we can.
Yeah, the problem is that if I provide you the tools, in some case, of course, I will provide it. Let me show you right here. Another group, another sessions going on. So I
Okay.
told them to download, you can see raw.io and continue
Okay.
extension. I told them how to do it. Right now, they
Okay.
are in a stage that they can do it. Right
Okay.
in the
No
big,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, I hope you got my point.
Yes,
So
yes. So
initial stage,
unnecessarily, you don't want to push
yeah,
and rush us. So if it is required, you will let us know. We will get it installed on the day
yeah.
before or something. Okay.
So if you have gone through the course for a 1.5 month, then things are going to be, I'm not going to provide no, provide a spoon feeding kind of. So then things are going to be more complex, more advanced kind. But initial stage, I don't provide any links or softwares, something that I don't explain,
Yeah.
in the demo. I'll explain it in demo, and then in demo in the session, and then you try it on your own. If you have any difficulty, you can reach me out. That's how it
Sure,
works.
sure. Anyways, we need to see the installation upfront because
Your voice is breaking.
I'm audible now.
Yeah, you're all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dhamodhar, because at the time of installation, we need to only check certain parameters, not all the parameters which we don't need. So
Right.
sometimes the installation over is also a problem. So
That is
I'm
true.
fine.
I'm trying with the new model. So while I'm not discontinue the previous model, let's see whether we get any output or not. But the image that I provide is more technical. I'll provide a more casual image also. We'll try that. Model takes time initially, so that's the reason for delay. Once it gets loaded, then you know uh, things are going to be much faster. I don't know the size of this. Let me check it. Uh, 8.1 GB. Okay, that fits well in my machine. So let's wait and see the output. Yes, we started loading. Looks like we got another error. Okay. All right, so let me load it again. Looks like we have some issue. Markdown file, that's not a big deal. Five 5.8 is not the size of the model. In fact, it's even bigger. I'm a bit surprised with the model that it shows. Let me break this. It's fine. Don't worry about bugs. Anyway, I will test it and then provide demonstration. Any changes to the code, so I'll update it and provide to you. Okay. So this, I have not tested this one.
No.
And I think I made sure Olama is running. Okay. Let me try that again. Okay, let me provide an image now. Okay. We got the email and we need to get the output.
So right now what you are showing, CPU and GPU both are in a single machine for you.
No, obviously we have to have CPU in order to run GPU. So initial request will go
Oh,
to
okay.
CPU and then it will be landed to GPU. And
Oh,
again, this requires a specialized installation again. The GPU libraries and CPU libraries are not the same, but
okay.
all the requests will go through CPU. Again, this has to be faster.
Okay.
This will not take this much time. It won't take more than a minute, but even to me, it's a surprise. For some reason, it is loading right here itself. So you might have seen this one, the installation is basically a torch, which is GPU version. For CPU, you need to simply add this one, this only this up to this part. For GPU, you need to add this one. And you need to have CUDA and CUDNL. So it's not going to run just by having GPU. Okay. Right. So look at this one. Here we have the CUDA. So we need to install this one, CUDA and CUDNL. So I'm a bit surprised that system is behaving a bit weird today. That the model is not loading well. It is loading right in the memory. It's a RAM. It has to ideally it has to load in GPU. Maybe I require some restart. Because the reason for delay is it is utilizing memory and CPU. It is not really utilizing GPU. So I need to restart the machine. Something takes time. So please be on hold. So I will restart the machine and see whether it works or not. Please be on hold. You can hear me, right? You can see my screen. Let me try that again one last time. Uh, okay. Vision. Let me provide. This is not the way how it should behave. To my surprise, it is loading in memory right here itself in RAM, which is not ideally the case. So basically, it has to load in GPU itself. Complete model need to be, yeah, you can start utilization 87%, which is good. Okay, I think there is some issue. Answer it properly. It's not really loading in GPU. So that is leading to this problem. Olama list. Okay, not this one. 11B. Yeah, this one. Around 8 GB. So it has to load everything right here. Okay. Looks like there is some issue. I need to figure it out. Maybe I need to reset my machine. But the problem is not with the code or anything else. The problem is that it is utilizing memory, RAM, rather than GPU. So I need to reset it. It looks like some bug in my own Windows machine. Okay. So maybe next time I will provide you with the complete demo. Maybe tomorrow. Same project. Okay. Any questions?
No, Dhamodhar, I'm good.
All right. I will provide the same demo tomorrow by resetting my machine. So hope things will work.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. If you don't have any questions, you can log off, or else you can hold on. You can. Yeah. Who else joined? Hari. I think Hari just now joined, right? Hari, the session started around 7 o'clock.
సార్ ఒకసారి ఫీజ్ పే చేయమని చెప్పండి. రేపటి నుంచి 7 AM ఉంటుందని చెప్పండి.
Okay, so I request you to pay clear the fee. On tomorrow onwards again, as we communicated earlier, session starts at 7 AM IST from tomorrow onwards.
We have the sessions on Saturday and Sunday, morning 7 to 10 AM IST.
Okay.
Okay, we have the weekend sessions, Saturday and Sunday. Timings are morning 7 to 10 AM IST. Okay, it takes nearly 3 to 3.5 months. Okay, so please show our course content, sir. This is our course content, sir. Okay. So please refer your friends, sir. If anyone is interested, please refer. Tomorrow onwards, we have the sessions on 7 AM and class 1. Okay. So at the last Saturday, we completed the one demo. I will share that demo also. I will share this demo also, this class also. Tomorrow onwards, we have the class 0 session. Any doubts, please ask, sir. Krishna Garu and Ranjana and Hari. I will share all after the class. I will share the recording and Validity is 1 year. After the session, faculty Dhamodhar sir also share that code and material, also such kind of things.
So, sir, can we log off?
Yeah.
If you don't have any questions, you can log off.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any question. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I too good, Damodar.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat garu. Bye bye. Bye, Ravinchana. Bye.
Harigar.